declare that your name shall be forever inscribed upon the enduring roll of the university's honorary sons and daughters. Thank you.
Speaking for today's degree candidates is a summa cum laude graduate in economics and Phi Beta Kappa from Springfield, Illinois, the president of the senior class, Mr. Brian William Buckles.
Chancellor Danforth, Dr. Raven, faculty, parents, friends, and fellow members of the class of 1993. President Andrew Jackson believed that one man with courage is a majority. Today I believe that one class with wisdom can change the world. Like many of my classmates, when I set foot upon this prestigious hilltop 4 years ago, I was mesmerized. This vibrant city of scholars was a majestic mountaintop when compared with the small, rural high school on the central Illinois prairie from which I graduated with my 32 classmates. Here, at this city set upon a hill, my professors were royalty, and my textbooks offered the keys to true wisdom. Today, however, my perceptions are different. Of course, my professors have maintained their knighthood. But I have learned that knowledge by itself does not lead to wisdom. The great inventor, Thomas Edison, said that we don't know 1/1,000,000th of 1% about anything. I would like to add that what we do know, we will soon forget. Years from now, most of us will not remember the marginal cost curves, the conjugations of Spanish verbs, the difference between mitosis and meiosis, or even the political leanings of Charles Dickens. I dare say few of us can remember these things today. What we will always remember, and what will be the single most important guiding principle behind each of our lives, is something that our classroom instruction has not addressed: morality. Without morals, our knowledge can never become wisdom. King Solomon, who is hailed as the wisest leader to ever govern any nation, said, "Be wise and give serious thought to the way you live." Solomon recognized the importance of morals. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. did as well. When he was a graduating senior at Morehouse College, he wrote, quote, "The most dangerous criminal may be the man gifted with reason, but with no morals," end quote. But over the past 4 years, the class of 1993 has sat together patiently through countless lectures aimed at convincing us that all truth is relative and that moral absolutes do not exist. In the meantime, we've seen our inner cities become war zones. Chemicals and pornography infect the minds of our nation's youth. Teenage children have babies, prisons overflow, and drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors placed at schoolhouse doors. It seems that rather than stand for something, America has fallen for anything. We, the class of 1993, must change all of this. We will begin today by pointing out the obvious. The statement, "There are no absolutes," is itself an absolute. When our professors appealed to Einstein's groundbreaking theory of relativity for ethical purposes, they stretched it beyond its legitimate scientific application. They ignored Einstein's own personal warning that his theory of relativity does not apply to ethics. On this day, not only must we understand the limitations of our knowledge, but we must also consciously strive to become examples of morality for our nation. As Thomas Jefferson put it, in matters of style, swim with the current, but in matters of principle, stand like a rock. And what better principles to pattern ourselves after than those of that great patriot, George Washington, whose namesake we bear. When this university was inaugurated on April 23, 1857, the first chancellor, Reverend William Greenleaf Eliot, explained in his speech that the name Washington, quote, was admirably adapted to the plan proposed, namely, to educate the rising generations in that love of country and in that faithfulness to God and truth, which made George Washington great, end quote. Clearly, Chancellor Eliot and the other founders of this university recognized the need for a moral component in higher education. They thought that by naming this university for George Washington, they would provide an outstanding example of morality for future students. On this occasion, then, we are justified in turning to George Washington as our moral mentor. The historian Cyrus R. Edmonds, who lived during Washington's day, once said, quote, "The elements of Washington's greatness are chiefly to be discovered in the moral features of his character," end quote. The Duke of Wellington, who is a British statesman, general, and enemy of Washington in the Revolutionary War, said that Washington had, quote, "the purest and noblest character of modern time, possibly of all time," end quote. Like all great leaders, George Washington was not representative of the world's population. In his farewell address, Washington explained the basis of his morality. He said, quote, "Let us, with caution, indulge the supposition that morality can be maintained without religion. Reason and experience both forbid us to hope that national morality can prevail in the exclusion of religious principles," end quote. Today at Washington's University, we can emulate his dedication to moral principles and avoid dishonoring his name. I propose that we erect a monument to George Washington on this hilltop campus so that future generations of students are reminded of our namesake's unambiguous love of God and country. By publicly recognizing the importance of moral absolutes, Washington University can instill wisdom and not just knowledge. And for my fellow graduates, our time at Washington University is now drawing to a close. As we enter the wilderness ahead, never forget that without morality, true wisdom is unattainable. The facts we have learned at this place will only fade with time, but morals will guide us through life. In conclusion, I wish to personally thank my parents, Nancy and Lee, for listening patiently during my countless telephone calls, and I wish to thank my Lord for hearing my countless prayers. Now, please be tolerant and grant me the opportunity to do something that has not been done for many years at a Washington University commencement. Allow me to say, may God bless the class of 1993. Thank you.
For the